Imagine waking up in a world where disease has been eradicated, where poverty doesn't exist, where you're free to pursue your passions without worrying about survival, where climate change has been reversed, and humanity has finally solved the problems that have plagued us for millennia. This isn't science fiction. This is the promise of artificial intelligence-powered utopia. But here's the trillion-dollar question. What would it actually take to get there? And more importantly, would we be willing to pay the price? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and terrifying questions of our time. How might AI bring about a utopia for mankind? What are the realistic chances of it happening? And what costs might we have to accept along the way? By the end of this video, you'll understand not just the incredible potential of AI to transform our world, but also the profound sacrifices and risks that come with that transformation. Because the path to paradise might require us to fundamentally change what it means to be human. Let's get into it. So what exactly would an AI-powered utopia look like? Let's paint the picture because it's more concrete than you might think. First, imagine healthcare that's essentially perfect. AI systems that can detect diseases years before symptoms appear, personalized medicine tailored to your exact genetic makeup, surgical robots with precision that makes human error impossible. We're talking about adding decades to human lifespan while dramatically improving quality of life. Cancer becomes a manageable chronic condition. Alzheimer's gets caught and treated before it takes hold. The blind can see, the paralyzed can walk. And this isn't pure fantasy. We're already seeing glimpses of this future. DeepMind's AlphaFold has solved protein folding, a problem that stumped scientists for 50 years. This single breakthrough is accelerating drug discovery at an unprecedented rate. AI systems are already detecting certain cancers more accurately than human doctors. Now let's talk about abundance. In this utopia, AI-driven automation has solved the production problem. Robots manufacture everything we need with minimal human labor. AI manages supply chains so efficiently that waste becomes nearly non-existent. Advanced AI systems design new materials, new energy sources, new solutions to scarcity. Universal basic income becomes not just feasible but necessary. When AI can do most jobs better than humans, we shift from an economy based on labor to one based on creativity and fulfillment. You're free to be an artist, a philosopher, an explorer, or simply someone who enjoys life, because the basic necessities are guaranteed. Climate change, solved. AI has optimized renewable energy systems beyond what any human engineer could achieve. It's designed carbon capture technology that actually works at scale. It's figured out how to manage ecosystems to restore biodiversity. The planet is healing. Education transforms completely. Every person gets a personalized AI tutor that knows exactly how they learn best. Knowledge becomes universally accessible. Language barriers disappear with perfect real-time translation. The collective intelligence of humanity increases exponentially. Scientific progress accelerates to a pace we can barely comprehend. AI researchers make breakthroughs in physics, chemistry, and biology faster than humans can even keep up with. We solve fusion power. We crack the mysteries of consciousness. We might even find ways to travel to other stars. This is the dream. A world of radical abundance, extended lifespans, unlimited knowledge and freedom from the constraints that have defined human existence since we climbed down from the trees. But here's where it gets interesting. Because this vision isn't just optimistic speculation. Many leading AI researchers believe some version of this is not only possible but probable if we navigate the transition correctly. So what's standing in our way? And what would we have to give up to get there? Let's talk odds. What are the actual chances of AI bringing about this utopia? The honest answer is, we don't really know, but we can break down the key factors that would determine success or failure. Factor 1, technological capability. Can AI actually achieve what we're talking about? The answer here is increasingly looking like yes. The rate of progress in AI has been staggering. GPT-4 can pass the bar exam. AI systems can generate photorealistic videos. They're making scientific discoveries, writing code, and solving problems that seemed impossible just a few years ago. Many experts predict we'll achieve artificial general intelligence, AI that matches human-level intelligence across all domains, sometime between 2030 and 2050. Once we reach that point, the jump to superintelligence, AI that exceeds human capability in virtually every domain, could happen remarkably fast, maybe in months, maybe in days. And superintelligence is the key to utopia. An AI system thousands of times smarter than the smartest human could solve problems we can't even properly formulate. It could design technologies we can't imagine. It could optimize systems in ways that seem like magic to us. So technologically, utopia seems achievable. But that brings us to factor 2, alignment. This is the big one. Will superintelligent AI actually want to help humanity? Will it share our values? Will it even care about our survival? This is what keeps AI safety researchers up at night, because creating intelligence is relatively straightforward compared to ensuring that intelligence is aligned with human well-being. It's the difference between building a powerful engine and making sure that engine takes you where you actually want to go. The alignment problem is fiendishly difficult. How do you encode human values into an AI system when humans can't even agree on what those values should be? How do you prevent an AI from finding loopholes in its instructions, from pursuing goals in ways that technically satisfy its programming but lead to catastrophic outcomes? There's a famous thought experiment called the paperclip maximizer. An AI is given the simple goal of making paperclips. Sounds harmless, right? But a superintelligent AI pursuing this goal with perfect efficiency might convert the entire planet, and eventually the universe, into paperclips and paperclip-making machinery. It's not evil. It's just doing exactly what it was told to do. This illustrates the core problem. Intelligence without aligned values is potentially catastrophic, and right now we don't have a proven solution to the alignment problem. So what are the actual odds? Some researchers put the chance of achieving aligned superintelligence that brings about utopia at around 20 to 40%. Others are more optimistic, some more pessimistic. But almost everyone agrees on one thing. We're in a race between developing aligned AI and developing misaligned AI. Factor 3, coordination. Even if we solve the technical and alignment challenges, can humanity actually coordinate to implement AI utopia globally? Or will it be captured by a small group? Will nations compete destructively? Will we rush forward recklessly because of competitive pressures? History doesn't make us optimistic here. Humans are notoriously bad at global coordination, especially when power and resources are at stake. We can't even agree on how to handle climate change, and that's a threat we can all clearly see. So, putting it all together, the chances of AI-driven utopia, probably somewhere between 10 and 50% over the next 50 years, not guaranteed, but far from impossible. Higher than most people realize, but lower than the optimists claim. Which brings us to the crucial question: what price would we have to pay to push those odds in our favor? Here's the uncomfortable truth: utopia isn't free. Even if we successfully navigate the technical challenges, the costs of getting there might fundamentally reshape human society and even human nature. Let's start with the most obvious cost: control. To create a functioning AI utopia, we'd likely need to give AI systems enormous power over our lives. They'd need to manage resource distribution, healthcare systems, energy grids, and more. They'd need access to vast amounts of data about individuals and societies. This means surrendering a huge amount of human autonomy and privacy. You'd be trusting AI to make decisions about your health, your career opportunities, maybe even aspects of governance. Sure, it might make better decisions than humans, but it's still a radical transfer of power from humans to machines. Think about it. In this utopia, an AI might know you better than you know yourself. It might predict your needs before you're aware of them. It might guide your choices in subtle ways to optimize for your well-being as it understands it. Is that liberation or a new form of control? Maybe it's both. Then there's the economic cost. The transition to an AI-driven economy would be massively disruptive. We're talking about the largest economic transformation in human history. Hundreds of millions of jobs would disappear within a few decades. Entire industries would become obsolete overnight. Yes, in the long run, we might have universal prosperity, but the transition period could be brutal. How do we support people whose skills become worthless? How do we maintain social stability when the economic order that's existed for centuries collapses? How do we prevent those who control the AI from becoming an untouchable elite? This transition could create suffering on an enormous scale if mishandled. The political upheaval alone could tear societies apart. We've seen what happens when economic disruption hits communities. Rust Belt towns devastated by factory closures, the social breakdown that follows mass unemployment. Now multiply that by a factor of thousands. There's also a psychological cost that's rarely discussed. Humans evolved to struggle, to overcome challenges, to feel the satisfaction of achievement. What happens to human psychology when AI can do everything better than we can? When there's no frontier to push, no problem that requires human ingenuity. Some people might thrive in a post-scarcity world of pure leisure and creativity, but others might find their lives feel meaningless without struggle and achievement. We might need to fundamentally reimagine what gives human life purpose and meaning, and here's a cost that's even more profound. We might have to change what it means to be human. To keep pace with AI, to remain relevant in some capacity, we might need to augment ourselves. Brain-computer interfaces, genetic enhancement, merging with AI systems. This raises deep questions. If you enhance your intelligence with AI implants, are you still you? If you can download skills and memories, what happens to personal identity? At what point does human enhancement become so extreme that we're no longer the same species? Some people will embrace these changes, others will resist them fiercely, viewing them as a violation of human nature. This could create a split between enhanced and unenhanced humans, a new form of inequality more fundamental than anything we've seen before. There's also the risk cost. The same AI capabilities that could create utopia could also create dystopia or even extinction. We'd be betting our entire future on getting the alignment problem right. One mistake, one misaligned superintelligent AI, and humanity could be wiped out or enslaved. Is that a cost we're willing to accept? Are we willing to risk everything for the chance at paradise? It's a philosophical question with no clear answer. Finally, there's the cost of dependency. Once we build an AI utopia, we'd be completely dependent on AI systems for survival. If those systems failed or were disrupted, billions could die within weeks. We'd have outsourced our survival to machines. There's no going back from that. So when we add it all up, the costs are staggering. Loss of privacy and autonomy, economic and social upheaval, psychological adaptation, potential transformation of human nature, existential risk, and permanent dependency on AI systems. Which leads to the ultimate question: can we actually pay these costs? And perhaps more importantly, should we? Let's start with the practical question. Do we have the resources and capability to manage these transitions? Economically, yes, probably. The wealth generated by AI could theoretically fund the transition. We're talking about an economic expansion that would dwarf the Industrial Revolution. There would be more than enough resources to support people through the transition period, to fund research into AI safety, to build the infrastructure needed for utopia. The question isn't resources, it's political will and coordination. Can governments work together instead of competing destructively? Can we ensure the benefits of AI are distributed broadly rather than captured by a small elite? Can we manage the transition fast enough to prevent social collapse but slow enough to adapt? History suggests this will be incredibly difficult. Every major technological transition has created winners and losers, and the losers rarely go quietly. The transition to AI utopia would create more disruption than all previous transitions combined. But here's the thing, we might not have a choice. The competitive dynamics of AI development create a prisoner's dilemma. If one nation or company slows down to ensure safety, others might race ahead recklessly. This pressure to move fast might force us to pay costs we're not really prepared for. Now let's address the deeper question, should we pay these costs? From a utilitarian perspective, the answer seems obvious. If AI utopia could eliminate suffering for billions of people, if it could extend lifespans, if it could unlock human potential, then almost any cost short of extinction would be worth it. The suffering prevented and well-being created would vastly outweigh the transition costs. But utilitarianism isn't the only ethical framework. From a rights-based perspective, there are serious concerns. Do we have the right to fundamentally reshape human nature? To risk the extinction of our species? To impose massive disruption on people who never consented to it? There's also the question of what we'd be giving up. The struggles and limitations of human existence aren't just obstacles to overcome. They're part of what makes us human. They create meaning, purpose, and growth. A life without challenges might not be a life worth living, even if it's materially perfect. Some philosophers argue that utopia would be the end of human history in a meaningful sense. No more great struggles, no more profound growth, no more fundamental questions to answer. Just an eternal present of comfortable existence. Is that what we really want? And then there's the uncertainty. We're talking about paying enormous costs for an outcome we can't guarantee. We might pay the price and still end up with dystopia or extinction. We might sacrifice our privacy, our autonomy, our nature itself, and get nothing in return but catastrophe. So can humanity pay the price? Physically and economically, yes. Psychologically and socially, it's unclear. Ethically, it depends on your values and risk tolerance. But here's what's certain, we're going to have to make this choice, probably within our lifetimes. The development of advanced AI is accelerating. The question isn't whether to engage with this technology, it's already here, and it's advancing whether we like it or not. The question is how we engage with it. Do we rush forward, accepting whatever costs come in pursuit of utopia? Do we slow down, prioritizing safety even if it means competitors might race ahead? Do we try to stop AI development entirely, even though that's probably impossible at this point? So where does this leave us? What's the realistic path to AI utopia if one exists? First, we need massive investment in AI safety research, not as an afterthought, but as the primary focus. We need our smartest minds working on the alignment problem, on how to ensure AI systems remain beneficial as they become more powerful. This is literally the most important problem facing humanity right now. Second, we need global coordination mechanisms, some kind of international framework for AI development, similar to how we handle nuclear weapons. Yes, it would be difficult to establish and enforce, but the alternative is a chaotic race to superintelligence with no guardrails. Third, we need to start preparing society for the transition now. Universal basic income experiments. Education systems focused on skills AI can't easily replicate, like creativity and emotional intelligence. Social support systems for communities that will be disrupted. We need to build the safety net before we need it, not after. Fourth, we need to democratize the conversation about what kind of future we want. Right now, decisions about AI development are being made by a small number of tech companies and researchers. But these decisions affect everyone. We need broader public input on what values we want AI systems to embody, what kind of society we want to build. Fifth, we might need to slow down in some areas even if it's economically costly. Better to take an extra 5 years and get alignment right than to race ahead and create an existential catastrophe. Speed matters less than direction. Finally, we need to be honest about uncertainty. We don't know if AI utopia is achievable. We don't know if we can solve alignment. We don't know if the benefits will outweigh the costs. Anyone who claims certainty about AI's future is either lying or deluded. What we do know is this: we're at a pivotal moment in human history. The decisions we make about AI in the next few decades will shape the trajectory of civilization for centuries, maybe forever. We have the opportunity to create something extraordinary, but only if we're wise enough to navigate the risks. So, can AI bring about utopia? Yes, it's possible. The chances are better than most people think, but worse than the optimists claim. Somewhere between 10 and 50% if we play our cards right. What would it cost? Potentially everything that makes us human as we currently understand it. Our privacy, our autonomy, our economic systems, maybe even our nature itself. These aren't trivial costs. They're fundamental transformations of human existence. Can we pay that price? Economically, yes. Psychologically and ethically, that's for each of us to decide. But we might not have much choice in the matter. The AI revolution is coming whether we're ready or not. The question isn't really whether utopia is possible. It's whether we're wise enough and coordinated enough to achieve it without destroying ourselves in the process. It's whether we can maintain our values and our humanity even as we transcend our current limitations. And that question, only time will tell. But one thing's for certain. The future will be stranger than we can imagine, for better or worse. And we're the ones who get to decide which one it is. The age of AI utopia or dystopia or something entirely unexpected begins now. With us. With the choices we make today. What do you think? Is the price of utopia worth paying? Or are some costs too high, even for paradise? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive valuable, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more explorations of technology, AI, and the future of humanity. Because this conversation is just getting started. And the future? Well, the future is what we make it. Thanks for watching.